What is going on, world? What's up, everyone? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new StarCraft 2 video. This one is between two players on the WCS Pro circuit. Spawning here in the bottom right-hand corner of Dreamcatcher LE, playing with the red Terran pieces. He's very well known in the world of StarCraft 2, and some of his drop play is some of the best in the world. His name is SpeCial. And his opponent, spawning in the cross position, playing with the blue Zerg pieces. He's a very well-known StarCraft 2 player, but one of those players that's been very well known for his Zerg cheeses and very aggressive builds. His name is none other than Bly. So, guys and girls, I'm really excited about this game and this series in particular between these two players, which was a best-of-5 series that was played at the WCS in Austin, and was, you know, of course, one of those games, or one of the series played in the round of 16. So, of course, all these games do matter in the grand scheme of things. And, you know, both these players are, as I said, they're two of my favorite players to watch in StarCraft 2. Here's why. Bly goes for some very aggressive builds, but he's a hyper aggressive Zerg player. And as you can see, his natural base, or I guess his second hatchery that's going to be taken, is very quick gold base. So this is just what Bly does on a normal basis. Now, SpeCial, I really enjoy his style of play in a different way. He has some of the best drop play in the world, in my opinion, when it comes to the Terran pieces. As far as, you know, dropping units with the Medivacs, his micro is absolutely incredible. That said, though, he is a very fun player to watch, and this is going to get really interesting right off the rip, because SpeCial's going to see that something might not be right. He's going to see that that natural hatchery is not taken, and this may very well force SpeCial into maybe going for, you know, some sort of, maybe change up his build order just a little bit, because it does look like Bly is going to start mining on that natural, or I should say that gold base hatchery. Queen is going to be coming out. We're also going to see the Roach Warren is going to be started as well. So it looks like Bly wants to get aggressive here relatively soon, and I know that this Reaper is trying to figure out what might be going on. Does look like this SCV is going to scout exactly that there is a base at the gold base location. Roaches are now out, or are going to be popping out here in very shortly, and we are going to see the lair is going to be coming in for Bly, so he's going to try to go for those higher tier lair based units. Now we are going to see SpeCial is going to be going for that starport, so he's going for a pretty standard build overall, but it might be changing somewhat simply because of what his opponent is doing as of right now. Now bunker is up, so he is trying to kind of, in the event that there is some serious aggression that goes on, he wants to make sure that he is going to be in the best possible defensive scenario. So he's going for that second bunker right now. I think he's got a really nice positioning as of right now. SpeCial knows if he can hold on to this potential push that might happen, which it doesn't look like is going to happen. If he can hold on, he's going to be in a really, really good spot. So a little bit of some micro back and forth here, but nothing too crazy as of yet. We are going to see we're going to see a Ravager that's going to be popping up, but it looks like that does get destroyed by the Cyclone. And now it looks like Bly is going to have to play possibly a little bit of some defense here, as there is a Banshee, as well as the Cloaking Field is going to be researched as well for SpeCial. And this is where it gets interesting. You know, the ZvT matchup is a very fun one for me, because there's just so many, you know, the matchups are so much fun to, you know, to really see, like, the different unit compositions go up against one another. That said, we are going to see, of course, that natural base is finally taken. We're going to see this followed up with a lair. We're also going to see Glad Reconstitution being researched out of that Roach Warren. So very interesting play here, to say the least, out of Bly. But this is what I love so much about Bly's style. There has actually been quite a number of build orders that I have taken personally from Bly, and I just try them out, as in seeing how they work, and a lot of times they work, sometimes they don't. But that is what's so much fun about playing Bly's hyper-aggressive style, is that sometimes it's going to work, sometimes it's not, but it certainly is a lot of fun when it does work. Now that said, it does look like we are going to see Bly is a little bit thrown off here by this Banshee switch-up, so very nice decision-making here by SpeCial, getting nice value out of this Banshee. This Banshee is absolutely doing a lot of devastating blows to a lot of those drones. So SpeCial is in a really nice spot. It does look like there are going to be Mutalisks coming out onto the playing field, so that's going to make this a very interesting scenario, because there's not a whole heck of a lot here for SpeCial to really kind of be able to counter against the Mutalisks. Now, he could get Vikings, of course, out of the starport. You could, of course, get more and more Marines, which, of course, can shoot air, but you know, very, very interesting. And we are going to see the +1 upgrades coming in now for SpeCial. He is getting those +1 upgrades for the ground-based units. And here we go. We are going to see the Mutalisks are coming out onto the playing field, and they are going to start moving. It looks like towards that orbital command. It looks like SpeCial now does see exactly what is going on. And it does look like these Mutalisks are going to have free range of a lot of those SCVs. Beautiful play here. Beautiful little counter for Bly. He's going to go and pick off a couple of these Marines as well. Got to be very careful, though. You do not want to lose these Mutalisks for free. It does look like he is going to have the strength in numbers, but a lot of those Marines are doing a lot of damage there. Stimpak's going to be researched in less than 10 seconds, and I do think that it was a nice little trade there for Bly. So Bly has taken a supply lead at this point. And it does look like there is going to be a missile turret that is going to be there. And your question is he going to be able to pick off that Banshee? They do go after the Banshee and are able to get that Banshee. And as this has all been going on, we are going to see an evolution chamber coming in now for Bly to start getting his upgrades going. And so there's going to be this jostling, this tug of war, so to speak, back and forth from both these players. It's one of those. It's very interesting because it's these unit compositions. You know, you don't see like Mutalisks are used quite. You know, of course they're used in this matchup. But you know, we used to see the Mutalisks a lot more in the Heart of the Swarm expansion. You know, at least that's what I've kind of feel is that you see them a lot. You've seen them a lot then, and seeing them being used right now is very, not necessarily a throwback, but it's also just a lot of fun. And as this has all been going on, as I've been talking, rambling on, it looks like Bly is going to start attacking towards that natural base expansion. But the question is there going to be enough here for Bly to be able to do enough damage, because that Stimpak is doing so much damage to a lot of these units, and it looks like SpeCial is getting the upper hand, at least in this engagement. Beautiful play there by SpeCial. Absolutely beautiful. And it looks like there was a little bit of an overextension there by Bly, but nonetheless, Bly is going on to his third hatchery right now. I like the position Bly's in currently, but at the same time, that engagement did not go in his favor, and SpeCial is going to be able to slowly start creeping back into this game as of right now. So, as I was saying about the Mutalisks, they can be a serious annoyance. The thing is that a lot of times you don't see a lot of Zerg players massing a lot of Mutalisks, simply because they're so supply heavy, and you know, some units can take them down so quickly. They can be devastating, and they can do a ton of damage to, of course, SCVs and such, but they seem to be easily countered, and that's why I think they haven't been used quite as much. But here we go. Bly, once again, wants to start moving in, but man, these siege tanks are in beautiful positions. And it looks like, once again, Bly is going to have to kind of take a loss there, it seems. And it looks like, as this has all been going on, SpeCial starting to switch up to the Liberators, and it looks like he's starting to move out towards potentially that main base location. Lots of ground-based units, pretty much all we're seeing so far for Bly, other than the Queens, of course. But the Liberator looks like it's going to try to create its liberation zones right next to that third hatchery. Technically the fourth hatchery. It's going to have free range of all of those units. And here we go, some drop plays coming in. And it looks like that Liberator is going to go down finally, but not without taking down a good amount of drones with it. That said, there's been, you know, some damage on either side that's been, you know, that's been going down as we, you know, we're passing, you know, that 10-minute mark in this game. And there, you know, decent amount of damage has been dealt on both sides, but nothing absolutely crippling to a point where you'd say, oh, one player or another is out of this thing, to say the least. Now, we do have some more drop play, which is what SpeCial is so well known for. As I was saying at the very beginning, it looks like he is going to start taking out a lot of these higher tier tech-based structures, going after the spawning pool as well as the lair. This could be a huge pickup if our Zerg player does not react quick enough. It looks like he is focused on the other side of the map. GG is called, and Bly ends up having to GG out with SpeCial with this brilliant drop play and then also impeccable defense, taking this game and going up 1-0 in the series. I hope you guys did enjoy this game between Bly and SpeCial, and if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe if you're new, stay positive, and as always, I'll talk to you guys all in game number 2. What is going on, world? What's up, everyone? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new video. This one is between two players on the WCS Pro circuit. Spawning here in the bottom left-hand corner of Lost and Found, Ellie, playing with the red Terran pieces. He's currently up in this series and wants to keep it rolling in his favor. His name is SpeCial. And his opponent, spawning in the top right-hand corner of the map, playing with the blue Zerg pieces. He's currently down in the series, but certainly not out of it just yet. His name is Bly. So guys and girls, game number 1 in this best of 5 series that was played at the WCS in Austin was one of the round of 16 games in or of that tournament. And this is game number 2, but game number 1 was a very interesting one, to say the least. You know, Bly, of course, went for that quick gold base or gold hatchery, and then, you know, kind of went from there, trying to, like, kind of throw SpeCial off just a little bit, which obviously did not work because SpeCial was able to kind of buy himself some time and start with a little bit of his drop play that he's so well known for, with the medevacs and the marine drops, and then of course had his stellar defense that a lot of times he's very good at as well, and was able to slowly but surely overwhelm Bly in a very exciting game number 1. And if that was any telling for what is to come in this game, I have a feeling, guys, we're in for a treat here today. So that being said, Bly, he wants to get back in the series, obviously. He wants to get back in this thing. How do you do it against one of the best Terran players on the planet? Well, it looks like when we're starting off here, Bly's going for that hatch gas pool opener, so very standard on his side. So he's not going to go for anything super aggressive as of yet. Whereas his opponent, SpeCial, looks like he's going for that barracks into the orbital command, and then of course into the natural command center. So pretty standard on both sides. Looks like SpeCial did send out a quick SCV scout just to see if anything fishy is going on, because Bly is so notorious for his hyper aggressive builds. But you know, it's one of those things, guys. This is why these are two of my favorite players to watch out there in the world of StarCraft 2, simply because they both have very different styles, but at the same time, very, you know, they're very exciting to watch, as far as from a Terran standpoint, and then of course from a hyper aggressive Zerg player. It's just fun to watch. Metabolic Boost is being researched right now, which of course is the Zergling speed upgrade, the most standard upgrade for a Zerg player. We are going to see that third hatchery is going down as well now, and it looks like that Reaper is going to just barely get away with his life. And it does look like those Zerglings are just being chipped away at. Beautiful micro here by SpeCial with that Reaper. Getting a good amount of value out of that Reaper, to say the least. And it does look like we are going to go ahead and we are going to see the starport coming in. And once again, SpeCial's just getting a lot of value out of this one Reaper, just getting Zergling after Zergling after Zergling at this point. And those don't seem like they matter that much, guys, but in the grand scheme of things, when you're talking about the highest level of StarCraft 2, they do matter very much so. And it does look like we are going to see, of course, the factory, which has been constructed on that reactor, going for the double Hellions, which I like the decision a lot. Also going for the, out of the starport, the Banshee with the cloaking field. So we are going to see SpeCial going for a little bit of somewhat of the same kind of build that he did in game number 1, except for, of course, the Hellions, because he did go for that Banshee as well as the cloaking field in game number 1. We are going to see out of Bly, we're going to see, of course, none other than the Lair's going to be coming in here, as well as the Roach Horn. So it does look like Bly wants to go for those higher tier Lair-based units, possibly relatively soon. But that said, we are going to see 5 Hellions making their way towards what looks to be possibly either the natural or the 3rd base. And we also have another Banshee, or I'm sorry, Hellion that is going to be joining in on the mix. And here comes these Hellions. They're going to try to get up that ramp. It looks like a couple of them are able to do so. They are going to get the surround. That is the Zerglings on some of those Hellions. The Hellions might be in a little bit of some trouble, though, as those Zerglings are going to take a nice engagement. A little bit of some micro, though. It does look like they are all going to go down as in the Hellions. We're also going to see a Nidus network. Okay, so Bly once again wants to keep up the aggression. And, you know, a lot of times when you talk about the Nidus network, this is where it gets really, really interesting. Because the Nidus Worm has been known to be very, very hard to really, when it comes to dealing any types of crippling damage for a Zerg player. They can do so much when it comes to, of course, the Nidus Worm. And here we go. It does look like that's exactly what Bly wants to do. He wants to do as much damage as he possibly can. These queens are going to try to do what they can to hold on. And here come the Cyclones. But it does look like SpeCial's in a decent position right now. There's not a whole lot of units that are out of the Nidus Worm as of yet. But this is exactly what Bly does so well, is cheesing his opponent. And a lot of people think that the Nidus Worm is a little bit overpowered at this point in the current meta of StarCraft 2. But it does look like that Nidus Worm is going to start to get some damage. But at the same time, does look like the transfuses do come in, and right now SpeCial is being put into a very difficult situation because it's very hard to deal with the Nidus Worm when you are a Terran player. But here we go. Looks like a lot of these units are going to start moving in. They're going to try to start getting those biles and land them on, of course, those siege tanks, but it does look like a lot of damage is actually coming in here for SpeCial against Bly. Bly is actually taken a good amount of damage. Those siege tanks are in great positions, and it does look like he's slowly but surely trying to push this Nidus Worm out. And it does look like he has actually been able to hold at this point. Beautiful play here so far by SpeCial, doing incredible things. As I was saying, you know, his defense is he has a very he does a very good job when it comes to his defense. He has a very stellar defense against really any kind of build that he goes against. But I gotta say, man, very well done by SpeCial. So SpeCial's got his third orbital command that is moving over, has now landed, and he's now going to be on 3 bases. Whereas, of course, you know, Bly is as well. And he's going for that 4th base right now as well. But at this point, SpeCial has got to be feeling very good about himself, simply because he's got, you know, he's of course, he was able to hold on to that push by Bly, which of course was a good amount of resources that Bly ended up taking into consideration there. SpeCial's also got Stimpack that's being researched. He's got, of course, you know, he's ramping up his production. You know, he's getting more and more SCVs out to, of course, get fully saturated on these bases. Now, we're starting to see the transition for Bly as well. He's going for the Hive, so he wants to get those higher tier Hive base units. He is also going for the Spire. So, Bly he's kind of in an interesting situation. The longer the game goes, Bly's, of course, going to be, I think he's going to be in a fine spot. The question, though, that remains in my eyes is SpeCial going to get aggressive here, relatively soon, or is he just going to give Bly that mutual respect that he does deserve for sure? As Bly is, continuing to try to ramp up his own production, we're starting to see of course, the roaches, the ravagers, as well as the infestors coming in. We're also seeing the Ultralisk Cavern coming in as well. So this is where it gets very interesting as far as the unit compositions are concerned. Stimpack is going to be finished up in less than 10 seconds. Ground Carapace level 1 just finished up for Bly. And so here we go. It does look like some of these units are going to start trying to do a little bit of some damage here to some of those supply depots. That's exactly what they're going to do. And it looks like Bly just wants to be a little bit of a nuisance, it seems. Does look like this Banshee is going to have free range, though, of all of these units. Now, what just happened? I don't know what just happened to that Banshee. Oh, okay, so the Banshee must have, must have forced the fungal growth on it, and that's why it was destroyed. Because at first I was wondering, wait a second, how did they just die? But that said, doesn't matter at this point. In the grand scheme of things, that Banshee was able to take out one of those infestors for their troubles. Now here's where it's going to get interesting. Is it looks like SpeCial is going to begin the drop plate, and this is where it becomes so deadly as we pass that 10-minute mark. This is where it gets really scary for a Zerg player, because you have to be very, very careful as to how you play this. We have multiple armies that are starting to move across the map here. It does look like those the Marine drop is going to begin over kind of in the middle of the playing field, and here comes another drop that's going to be happening in the main base location. This could do a lot. This could hurt a lot. As a lot of these units are starting to move in, they're going to try to start taking out as many of these tech structures as possible. Ultras are here, so the Ultralisks are going to kind of have the final say there, but more and more drops are happening, and this is what I'm talking about. This is where SpeCial is just all over the map. More drop play is going to be happening, and the question is there going to be enough here for Bly to hold on without SpeCial just picking apart his entire economy? And that's what you got to be very, very careful about. Now, we are seeing Corruptors coming in now for Bly, but of course, these medevacs are going to be able to do, are just kind of shutting down a lot of these units, as far as, like pushing a lot of the units into different areas across the map. Now, this Ultralisk is going to be in a perfect position to kind of fend off against all of these medevacs. Now, these medevacs are going to be in a little bit of some trouble here. Oh man! And it does look like that medevac does get away with his life, as Bly is trying to obviously multitask somewhat. But that said, the main bulk of the army is still to come, as we are seeing a Ghost Academy is going to be going down. We're seeing those upgrades continuing here for SpeCial, and it looks like SpeCial is smelling blood. He's got that 200 supplied. He's starting to go after a lot of this army. Lots of siege tanks as well. This is a very scary army that you're going to have to, merge your way into, and there's a lot of siege tanks here at this ramp, and it looks like this base, which of course is the 5th base location, is going to go down, and here we go. SpeCial's got another piece of army that's going to start moving as well, and this is where it's going to get very scary for our Zerg player. He's got to get a good position, otherwise this could absolutely spell disaster, because here we go. That 4th base location is already under a ton of pressure and does go down. SpeCial doing so much damage right now. The fungal growth does come in. Beautiful play there by Bly, really cutting that army almost in half. But there's still a lot of drop play that's happening, and this is what SpeCial does so well. Now, it does look like SpeCial might have to go home for the time being. He did a good amount of damage, though. He was able to take out a couple of bases. Now, the Brood Lords are up now, though. So these Brood Lords are here, and now SpeCial sees that the Brood Lords are there, and he smartly, wisely backs off. Adrenal Glands is going to be finishing up in a couple of seconds now for SpeCial, or I should say for Bly. But SpeCial is starting to really take over his side of the map. He's really starting to just take over kind of his area that he feels really confident with. And I know with more and more of these Brood Lords, this army is starting to get really, I mean, just really, it's starting to get pretty scary. He's got very high tier units, that is Bly. But at the same time, when I'm looking at SpeCial and what SpeCial's doing, you know, he's got a pretty good army though too. I mean, he really does. He's got a pretty strong army. I mean, we're talking, you know, not only the Vikings that are going to kind of be able to fend off those Brood Lords, but you also got the Ghosts, which you get those Ghost Snipes in, and that can be devastating for the Ultralisks as well as those Brood Lords. So I like the unit composition on both sides. I gotta say that at this point, it does look like Bly's army, you know, it's pretty good. It's not bad, but I actually like SpeCial's a lot more. I like the unit composition a little bit more. And Bly, I mean, he's got a very strong army when it's on creep. Now, here we go. This is where it's going to get very interesting because it looks like this army's going to try to pounce right on top of all those units. And it does look like snipes are all actually going to be coming in. Now, these guys are kind of caught off, but those snipes did come in, and those were very, very detrimental. But here comes the Brood Lords, and the Brood Lords are going to start trying to chase this army, it looks like. It does look like they are going to be, they're going to back off, though. Wisely so. It's a very slow army composition, though, whereas SpeCial, it looks like he kind of just wants to slowly but surely pick away at this army. But this is anyone's game, guys. I mean, obviously. It is, you know, both players are almost at 200 supply, and so it's going to get very interesting very quickly. It all comes down to the micro of both these players, and it does look like SpeCial is not afraid and wants to start moving in towards that third base location. That's exactly what he's going to do. Fungal Growths are going to be coming in, as well as those Broodlings are coming in and trying to do as much damage as possible. But here comes the Vikings. The Vikings are starting to snipe a lot of those units, and that's a beautiful play there by SpeCial. A great diversion there. But it looks like this round is going to start to come in here for Bly. Bly wants to try and do as much damage as possible. Those snipes are going to be coming in, though, and the snipes are doing so much damage. At the same time, though, it does look like a lot of those units are going to go down, and at the same time, these Brood Lords are getting absolutely decimated. Force Pit Transfuses as well, and it looks like SpeCial did win that battle, but not by a whole heck of a lot. It does look like the Zerglings are going to start coming in, and the Zerglings are going to try to go ahead and get these, of course, the Ghosts, as the Surrounds are going to try to come in on the Ghosts. But the snipes are coming in. Those snipes are so devastating to those Ultralists that are just overextending a little bit. Bly was so hung up with getting the kill on some of those Ghosts that he sacrificed some of those Ultralisks. Now, at this point, it doesn't seem that Bly is out of this thing yet, but that really hurts his army. There are no more Brood Lords. Now, I'm sure Bly is going to start making more Brood Lords here shortly, but SpeCial, I mean, he's been re-upping this army, and it looks like now he's going in for that blow against against, of course, this third hatchery, and that's exactly what he's going to get. And it looks like right after he's done, he might start just going back home. Beautiful play by SpeCial. SpeCial is picking apart his opponent, and it just, you know, he's kind of just holding him, kind of forcing Bly to split up his army. Just brilliant play. This is what we're talking about. When we talk about the highest level of play when it comes to StarCraft 2 and using the Terran pieces, we are going to see a nuke coming in, but that nuke is going to be, looks like of course, the Ghost is going to be destroyed there. But, you know, when we talk about the highest level of play, guys, you know, SpeCial is one of the best out there with the Terran unit, Terran pieces. I love watching him and seeing what he does and just how he does it is really remarkable. Now, Bly's a lot of fun, though, to watch, too. This guy is extremely fun. We are going to see the nuke is going to be triggered as well. Does look like, once again, we are going to see another engagement happening. The question is there going to be enough here, once again, for Bly, as his supply is continuing to plummet. The snipes are absolutely destroying all of those Ultralisks. And just like that, SpeCial, pushing the 18.5-minute mark, absolutely destroyed so many. Pretty much all of those Ultralisks. Now, there's more that are being re-upped right now, but the tactical nukes are coming in, and here come the Liberators, and those Liberation Zones are here, and oh my god, the amount of devastation. The nuke drops on top of a ton of those units that is at this fourth hatchery, this fourth hatchery that was retaken. Wow, beautiful play here by SpeCial, just absolutely devastating, to say the least. And it does look like Bly is still going to try to fight this thing out, but the longer this goes, there is absolutely no way, and GG is called, and SpeCial takes a commanding 2-0 lead over his opponent. I hope you guys did enjoy this game between SpeCial and Bly, and if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe for new, stay positive, and as always, I'll talk to you guys all in game number 3. What is going on, world? What's up, everyone? It's Zero here. Today I'm bringing you guys a brand new StarCraft 2 video. This one is between two players on the WCS Pro Circuit. Spawning here in the bottom left-hand corner of Redshift LE, playing with the red Terran pieces. He's currently up in this series and wants to keep it rolling in his favor. His name is SpeCial. And his opponent, spawning in the top left-hand corner of the map, playing with the blue Zerg pieces. He's currently down in this series and wants to kind of get it back in his favor. His name is Bly. So, guys and girls, this game in this series was played at the WCS in Austin and was one of the round of 16 games or series of that tournament. And this one has been extremely exciting, to say the least, because we've had a little bit of everything. We've had a little bit of some cheese. We've had a little bit of that, a macro focus game. And now I'm really interested to see what we get in this one, because it looks like Bly is going to go for a very fast spawning pool, and then of course into his natural hatchery. So skipping out on the quick hatchery and going for the spawning pool first generally means he's going to go ahead and get those Zerglings out and maybe try to do a little bit some damage, maybe slow down the natural command center somewhat. But SpeCial in both these games has had incredible defense and even better offense. He has been playing out of his mind this series, and it has been very fun to watch. These are two of my favorite players to watch from a standpoint of just, excitement base. When it comes to these two players, you never know what you're going to get with them. Bly, he's always going for possibly some cheese, possibly, it's always, you never know what you're going to get out of Bly. And SpeCial has some very interesting builds and has some of the best draw play in the world, in my opinion, when it comes to, of course, the medevac drops. So both these players, we are watching two very fun and exciting players, to say the least. And in the first couple of games, SpeCial has really had the advantage, and that is without question. He has just been playing very well in the right positions, scouting perfectly, and just playing very, very good StarCraft 2. Now, that said, Bly is not out of this thing just yet. He is still, alive and well when it comes to this series. It's very, when we're talking you have to win 3 games in a row, it's very, very difficult. when we're talking the highest level of play. But Bly is a guy who can, of course, do that and has done it in the past. Now, it looks like he's going for that metabolic boost upgrade, which, of course, is a Zergling speed upgrade, whereas SpeCial, of course, went for that natural command center after, of course, the barracks and the orbital command, and it looks like he got his factory, and now he is, of course, going for that second orbital command, whereas Bly's going for that third hatchery at this point. So, you know, there's a lot kind of, you know, in these past couple of games, a lot has happened. A lot has been, you know, just going on, you know, between some cheese and then, of course, the macro focus game. And, you know, SpeCial has come on top in both of those occasions. But he definitely had to work pretty hard for it. He, of course, had, you know, just really playing very smart. And throwing his opponent off is exactly what he did, you know, with the drop play, of course, with the marine drops, and then hitting in multiple locations at once. Definitely threw Bly for a little bit of a loop. And, you know, it's exciting, though. It's exciting to say the least. Now, I'm excited to see, you know, when you're Bly, because I think the narrative is more around Bly as of right now, simply because if you are Bly in this situation, you're down currently by 2 games on match point against one of the best Terran players out there in the world. What do? You go for that macro focus game, or would you go for some cheese or a timing push? We're going to find out here shortly. SpeCial is going for that third command center on the gold mineral patches. So this is going to get very interesting because SpeCial wants to get a little bit of a boost in economy at this point. Bly looks like he's going to sacrifice this Overlord, and he is going to get a little bit of some scouting information. A couple more barracks are going down. We're also going to, of course, see the cloaking field for the 3rd time in this series, as well as the Banshee are going to be coming in as well. Stimpak's being researched, and we're going to be seeing, you know, some of these Zerglings, of course, moving across the map, and they are going to try to maybe get a little bit of that, of some information here as they move around. The cloaking field is going to be finishing up in less than 10 seconds now for SpeCial, and at this point, we're starting to see roaches come out now. And, you know, the queens are going to be great for that stellar defense. The cloaking field's up, and now here we go. SpeCial is going to be able to do some more damage once again to some of these units while Bly waits for the spore crawlers to finish up, and SpeCial has just been on point. He's reading his opponent like a book, and now it looks like Bly wants to go for a timing push here, as he's got a lot of Zerglings as well as Roaches and Ravagers coming out as well. And I like this, you know, to a degree, a lot of people knock Bly's style of play, but I like this. I like this style where, you know, he's gonna continue to stay aggressive. He wants to aggressively seek victory at any cost when it comes to this matchup. And here we go. It looks like Bly is moving across the map. He is gonna go after that bunker, and here we go. Of course, those vials do come down, and they do rain havoc. But here we go. The question is, with these Banshees, could that be the tail of the tape? As all these units are starting to take out those Roaches, as well as the Ravagers are also done at this point. And it looks like somehow, some way, SpeCial's able to hold on. And I really feel that the eye in the sky, so to speak, of those Banshees were the big point of interest when it came to that particular engagement. SpeCial only had to hold on for that engagement, I feel. Now that he held on, he's got this, of course, the 3rd command center, which is, of course, the gold on the gold mineral patches. He is going to have a nice jump when it comes to, of course, you know, the booming economy, so to speak. So, once again, these Banshees, I think, I mean, they didn't really work as well in games 1 and 2, but they are working well in this game, and I think that it really saved SpeCial quite a bit, actually, in this game. Because, of course, you know, as Bly's going for a lot of these pretty much all ground-based units, you know, SpeCial is just kind of reading his opponent like a book, just playing very, very well. it's very, now that Burrow's finished, Louder Constitution is going to be coming in for Bly. And I'm speaking as if Bly is already out of this game, which he certainly is not. But there is just so much damage already being dealt. SpeCial knows he's ahead. The supply is starting to really favor SpeCial at this point. He's doing so much damage. Oh my god. The amount of damage that's coming in, that layer goes down, and that is a devastating loss for Bly at this point. He's going to really have to pull a rabbit out of a hat now, or just go for an all-out push at this point, because SpeCial is just outplaying his opponent very much so. Just really doing a remarkable job all series long. He has been playing so well all series long, guys, against Bly. And I know Bly, he's going to do what he can, of course, to try to get back in this game. But it's just so difficult with how on top of it SpeCial is right now, going after more and more of those roaches, and the roaches are pretty supply heavy, and there is just so much damage coming in. More drop play by SpeCial, playing this game in this series absolutely so well as we pass that 9-minute mark. What he's doing is he's kind of switching into the Liberators. So he's getting those Liberators out. He's going to go after, of course, he's just going to continue the drop play. It looks like he's going to continue going in slowly but surely. This could be the killing blow here. And will SpeCial go 3-0 in this series against a great Zerg player at the WCS in Austin? And this is why StarCraft 2 was so much fun, guys, because you just never know what you're gonna get. And the different strategies are consistently changing. And SpeCial is a one-of-a-kind kind of Terran player. He's a lot of fun to watch for sure. Bly is a one-of-a-kind kind of Zerg player as well, who is taking a lot of heat right now out of the, of course, doing a lot of damage once again to that main base location. These Banshees, I think the Banshee switch tells everything, guys, in this game. This game has, I feel that it could have went the other way had SpeCial not had those Banshees. Those Banshees absolutely did so much for SpeCial, and SpeCial is continuing to bring a lot of those units, and GG is called, and SpeCial wins this series 3-0 and moves on to the next round at the WCS in Austin. I hope you guys did enjoy this game and this series between SpeCial and Bly, and if you guys did, leave a thumbs up, subscribe for news, stay positive, and as always, I'll talk to you guys all in the next one. Peace.